Hi guys, it has been 6 days since the unthinkable happened and our entire place burned down. And again, I don't really want to make a video, but because our channel has always been transparent and we've always been very transparent with you guys, and the reason the place existed was so many people that want to know what happened, how it happened, where we're at, what's going on. And also, when things like this happen, there's lots of speculation, there's lots of rumors, there's lots of different things that go on. So I just said I'd make this quick video today just to kind of put everything to bed and let you guys know where we're at, how we are, what's going on, what the next steps are, and all that kind of stuff. To start with, there's a lot of you guys that will have come in to our channel or our videos or whatever because of what's happened. Definitely not the publicity we wanted, but some of you guys might not be aware of who we are, what we do, what this place meant to us, what the cars meant to us, how our business operates, and how all of this is an absolute mess. So we're a very niche business. We have, I always call meetings and say we're a house of cards. So in order to have something so niche between drifting, modified cars, merchandise, media work, all this, there's so many aspects to that business that if one piece was to fall, the whole lot would fall. And it's a very tough business. We're a group of car enthusiasts that work together, and also best friends that work together on a business that's really difficult to keep afloat because it's so niche. We also are in a country that the government and council essentially hate what we do. They don't like modified cars, they don't like drifting, they don't like any of those things. So whether you're UK or America or wherever, it's very difficult to get insurance, to legally drive cars here. The cost and taxing on everything is higher than anywhere else, and it's a real struggle just to keep it all afloat. And over the last 8 years, we've had a lot of ups and downs. We've had amazing memories and built some amazing cars. But just to give you a background story, maybe before I get to everyone else, just on my own personal side, we've had so many amazing, words of advice, kindness, generosity. It's overwhelming. I said to someone the other day, it felt a lot of the time last week like I was at my own funeral and people were talking about us like we were not there or in the third person. And one thing I hate personally is sympathy, because I'm quite proud, I'm quite strong, I feel like I've got a good plan of how we can always get over all our problems, and we generally do. And the problems we've had for the last 8 years, just to give you a quick synopsis, 8 years ago I was running the Irish Drift Championship, and I got the opportunity to run the British Drift Championship. And the week that I was going to sign the contract to buy it, I got diagnosed with cancer. And my attitude was, look, we'll give it a go, we'll see what happens. We took the chance, I battled through it, and it ended up becoming a success. The Irish Drift Championship led to the British Drift Championship, led to the Middle East, led to Drift Masters. And we were cooking. Everything was going great. I brought an amazing team together of guys that I sold a dream to of working in this dream job. And they gave up their own careers and their own ambitions to follow me. And we built something very special. 4 years ago, just as we were getting to a point where our business was really successful, COVID came along. And overnight, we lost 90% of the business. And again, through no fault of our own, we were struggling. And going to go bankrupt, we took a chance. We borrowed €100,000 off the bank. Government were backing all the loans at the time to keep businesses afloat. We said, look, if we're going under, we might as well go under doing something we love. So we bought an MX-5, we bought a Corvette, we really put our heart and soul into the Drift Games brand and our channel, and people started watching, and it kept us afloat during the toughest time. Come out of COVID, we built some popularity on our builds and our channel, and the events came back, and then things were back going again. 4 years later, we had put our heart and our soul into what was our dream space, our dream garage, and into all of our cars that were in there. They all had so many stories, so many memories. We worked with amazingly talented people to build all that together. And we headed to Dubshed, which was the first indoor show of the year, to just stand back and look at what we had achieved from a bunch of misfits that were car enthusiasts. It's important also to remember that we're not the best drifters. We're definitely not the best mechanics. We're not the most animated of YouTubers. We're just kind of ordinary guys that love cars. And you have to work twice or 10 times harder than the people that have all that natural talent just to keep things afloat when you don't have it naturally. And everybody was putting in, we calculated, just as we were talking about it over the last year, everybody with the hours they put in that was unpaid just to build the cars, get them ready, were on less than minimum wage, just living the dream. And to see all that go away in one night, after, you know, cancer, COVID, now the entire business burning down. Personally, it's like, just feels unfair. If I'd made a bad business decision, if I'd made a wrong move, or any of the boys had, you know, even if we caused the fire, which we didn't, you could at least say it was our fault, but it all seems like it wasn't our fault, which makes it all, obviously you get angry, you get frustrated, your mental health starts to go, is it just not meant for me? Are we just not meant to have this life, no matter how hard we work, no matter how many risks we take? But I wanted to just make this video to tell you guys about what happened in the last 6 days, to clear up any speculation you guys might have had, or obviously the building is actually collapsing behind me as I'm making this video. The demolition team are here. So first things first, the fire was an accident. It was something that CCTV has pulled. It's an ongoing investigation with forensics, so I can't speculate publicly, but it is a freak accident. Nothing could have been done any differently, and I know there's a lot of Captain Hindsights that are on the comments saying, oh, you should have done this, should have done that. We have a company where we build cars that are never going to be the value of them. There's no, like 90% misery, if you're a car enthusiast, you know, if you're gonna go try and make money, the last thing you're gonna do is modify cars or drift. There are two things that literally you're just throwing money away. We could sell pallets, mattresses, and you'd make 10 times as much money. If we were a commercial media company, just getting paid by the hour, we'd make 10 times more. Every penny we made, we reinvested. We never left anything in the bank. We just kept building up cars, building our channel. It's quite scary actually, everything falling down behind me. This is the hardest business because there's no sense to it at all. So saying that we would go in there and have this, that and the other, and like, it's nonsense. We were trying to do something that was just so niche and crazy that, you know, it doesn't applicate to any other business. First of all, the fire was accidental. No one could have changed anything. A lot of people saying we should have had sprinkler systems and fire systems. The building was only a year old. We had all the fire systems we necessarily needed in there. The fire marshal said to us, it didn't matter what you had in there. They had 7 fire trucks pouring water on the initial fire and they couldn't stop it. No sprinkler system was going to push as much water towards it. The mains water couldn't handle any more water that was being pushed on it, and they couldn't stop any of it. The firefighters did everything they could, but remember, there was no human life inside. So once it got to a dangerous point for their human life, they had to let it burn. And that's the right call. People said when we got there, could we have got cars out? When we got there, the smoke was pouring out the corners of our windows. I'm thankful that the police and the fire did not let us in, because if we went in to get something, we could be having a very different conversation, because all of my boys were raring to go in there and get every car out of there. It would have been impossible and people would have got hurt. And that's far more important than the cars that were in there or anything to do with it. These are all not my employees but my friends, and the last thing I wanted is those people to be hurt. On top of that, people say, it's okay, insurance is going to cover everything. Insurance is going to cover everything. It's like, you've obviously never had an insurance claim or an insurance policy. So first of all, you think about it from an insurance company's point of view. It's very hard to explain what we do. It's incredibly hard to explain the sentimental value of everything that we lost. It's very hard for them to understand what a one-of-one Corvette or a Lamborghini with a 2J or an S15 with an MR2 engine, they don't understand any of that. All we're going to get out of this is some of our stock, which is not even all we had in there. We're going to get market value for the cars, maybe, that we had in there. And we had every insurance thing ticked. A lot of people say you should have insured it differently. Unfortunately in Ireland, because it's such a niche business, they don't cover those things. There is no option to cover them. You go to England, you can insure supercars a certain way, specialist cars, things like that. There is nothing in Ireland, because it's so niche, even available. So for us to operate as a business, we didn't have any other option but to insure it as best we could. And that meant we maximized the best we could. But we're probably looking at, I would say, best case scenario, 3/4 of what we have in there is gone and never to be recovered. The personal cars that are in there, we've already had conversations where companies are saying on technicalities they won't insure them at all. And of what is insured, they're looking at the value of that, saying, for example, my S15, they're just looking at standard S15, bog standard value, not everything we've done to that car or whatever. Drift cars, I don't know anyone in the world, maybe they do, but I would say 98% of people who have a car that's not road legal doesn't have it insured, and also it's very difficult to insure a car that isn't road legal, because car insurance is based on, is it road legal, does it meet the recommendations, is it taxed? So when people say that it's insurance, it's just moronic. Like I could have sold 2 cars up there and got more money than we're going to get back on this. So that doesn't make it. Also, if people are saying, I would have to, if I wanted an insurance claim, because I was laughing about this last night, I would have to hire somebody who doesn't work for me from a different company to blow himself up, to start a small fire that he then would preempt, would take down 6 hours to get to our stuff. And then, like, we would claim back the insurance on 25% of it, even though just selling a car or 2 would have been more. Like, it's just moronic. And anyone thinking that this is sinister or a plan, I honestly feel sorry for your skepticism. And I obviously, even unlocking your phone would be, you'd have to have more intelligence than a con than that. So it's nothing like that. But I'm going to try and be positive, because I have to be positive about one thing. The support we've got from all over the world has just been, like, we're not saving lives here, we're just building cars. But obviously we have a connection to people that do that all over the world. And I think the hardship of owning a modified car or drift car, the amount of misery you have to go through, the amount of phone calls, emails, running around with cars on trailers, getting parts, building things going wrong. Like, every car has a project, has a story that's not a good one all the way. No project's ever gone good from start to finish, and you guys have watched ours and know how much we've suffered through a lot of those to just get them to a working car. Some of them weren't even working, they just got to that point where we were nearly at the finish line. It was an unfortunate time, because most of the cars were actually finished for the first time, and we were looking forward to the summer and going driving them and getting them out there. But that's just not going to be. Mental health is something that I also just want to talk about a little bit, because obviously we've been suffering with it this week, and I never really, because I think about it, I've lost all of my possessions, so there's nothing in my home house that's more important to me, bar my wife and my dogs, than what was in there. Everything I'd collected for 10 years, every bit of memorabilia, every lanyard from an event, every signed thing from a driver, every journey, it's all in there. There's nothing in my house of drift games, nothing. And just felt like that whole history was erased in one night. The lads have put their heart and soul into their cars. I worked them so hard, even the time they had on top of that, they put it into their cars just to show how much passion they have. They'd go and work on cars all day and then finish working and work on their own cars. Like this, if you're a car guy, you'll understand the passion you put into it it's almost stupid. It's a stupid passion to have. And all that stupidity now, you're thinking, should I have just done something different? Should I have just given up when we had those first roadblocks and I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of defeat, there's a lot of stuff that's really, really, it's miserable, I'll be honest. And you get into conversations, I mean, I was having insurance conversations 72 hours after this, and I hadn't even been to bed. And it's just, everyone's so nice, and so everyone from the guards to the fire brigade everyone's been so lovely. But you have moments where you just go, it doesn't even matter, I don't even care about getting anything back, I'm just giving up. But the kind words that you guys said, the kindness of strangers, people coming to my house, people filling our fridges, people, like, you just don't understand how much it means to us. It's like, I don't know, maybe we struck a chord through our content that people understand that we're not the most naturally gifted of people, and we're just working really hard to try and make a dream come true, and maybe that resonated. But anyway, I don't want any guilt. That's the thing I don't want from this, is that it's a loss, but guilt is it's the most miserable of feelings, I think, guilt. So I made a plan, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know a lot right now because it's all still a blur from the last week, but what I do know is we're going to continue to operate. The people that have bought the merchandise on our shop, and I can't thank you guys enough, you didn't need to do that, but you've kept everyone in a job. So everyone still has their job, the whole team are still employed for the time being. We are lucky, and I have to explain to some things that you've. So a lot of people said, was Adam LZ's car in there? When I was referring to Adam's car in the video, it was Adam O'Connor's MX-5. Adam LZ's car is still on a container ship in the middle of the Atlantic. Josiah from FDF's car is still in a container. Ryusei's car from Japan is still on a container. And they weren't in the building at the time, thankfully. So we really want to continue, like we really want to do what we said we do this. We won't be able to do it the same way, there's no way. But I've been close to tears the whole journey, but I did break down once last week, and it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and I got a phone call from Kato and Toshi in Liberty Walk, and they were just saying, we're loading up our Murcielago drift car, you can put your livery on it and do what you were going to do on the European tour. I mean, this is a company that it was our big shot to impress them. They didn't know who we were 6 months ago. They gave us a shot, they gave us a kit, and all we wanted to do was prove to them that it was worth their risk. For them to offer us a car, to offer us to ship a car, is insane. It's just insane. And like, I obviously said no, because I just wasn't in that, in that mode. But if they send it to us, we could put that truck and go to Europe. I promised Ruse and I promised Connor Falvey, 2 amazing young talents, that we were going to take them to Drift Masters this year, and we were going to let them compete against the best in the world. I don't know how we're going to do it right now, but we're going to do that. We're going to still continue the Drift Games team in Drift Masters. We're going to still somehow, with borrowed cars, do our halftime show, Japfest, LZ World Tour in Ireland. We might not be able to do it to the same level. We may not be able. We'll try. We've got a lot of people offering us a lot of great. The community's been amazing. So everything we said we're going to do, we're going to try and do. If nothing else, just to keep things moving, keep the community positive, and keep ourselves busy. We've lost all our stuff, but we can buy some cameras, we can get some stuff back, we can get going on laptops, we can start working from scratch. A lot of people are talking about rebuilding. This building is being demolished over the next 5 days. Due to the amount of gas and poisonous stuff that has been crushed and is in the air, nobody's allowed in the building. The last person in the building was me and Keane when we made the last video. After that, as you can hear, it's collapsing behind us. Nothing will be recovered. It'll all be rubble, debris, and taken away. Within a week, there'll be nothing here. There'll be no rebuilding of the building. We spoke with the owners. They put so much time and energy into this. They just can't go back from block 1 again. We've tried and inquired about other units and other places we can go permanently. We're not wanted because we're a modified car channel. It is also not something people in Ireland like. Also, you're coming out of a fire, so they just don't want you. So I don't know, we have to figure something out there. Insurance is going to be a very long road to get very little by the sounds of it. And it'll be months, and it'll be a lot of a mess. There's so many people involved and businesses involved here. It's just a mess, from top to bottom. So what we're doing at the moment is we've got a temporary office in TTW. You guys who have ordered all of your merchandise, and if you continue to do so, I mean, it means every single purchase comes in. It just gives us that little bit of hope. It's given us we have to buy that merchandise and get it manufactured and get it out to you guys. We'll do that as soon as we possibly can. It's just, obviously, we're not on a schedule with the company to get it made. I have to say, Flexprint and Navin, they're just unbelievable, and they've been trying their best to put people on extra hours to get that done. We're going to try and get Josh to IDC this year, to the Irish Drift Championship. That was my promise to him for putting in so much work over the last 2 years to get this place up and running, that he would run a full season. And luckily, because his car is such a heap of shit and it's always broken, it was in Wayne's at the time getting a subframe fix, so his pro car is still there. So we will try and run him for Japfest in that event, just to get our minds off it, just to give us something else to do. And we will try and get our cars to Drift Masters. We will try and look after Josiah and LZ. And we will try and give you guys some positive content. It might not just be our builds, it might be other builds, it might be other stuff. We'll just try and keep the videos going, keep things moving, keep you guys entertained, because I don't want every video to be miserable and sad and all this stuff. Even if we're feeling it, you guys come to these videos for a bit of crack, for a bit of fun, for a bit of a laugh, to escape from all the horrors. And then most importantly, there's a lot of people that have messaged me over the last 6 days that are suffering a lot with loss, with their mental health, with different things that are tough for them, and they look to us as an inspiration of, bit of a laugh, bit of fun, follow your dream, all that stuff. Even though I've been financially advised by my accountants, by different people, to fold the company at this point, I'm not folding the company. I'm not folding it. We have another 4 years of loans on stuff that we don't own anymore, and we're going to have to pay off. We're not going to get a whole lot to start with. But this company has got to hear from nothing numerous times, as I said at the start of the video. And the talent is in the boys, the passion. I mean, any other company, when this happens, staff are going to cut and run, go get other jobs. My boys stayed with me and stayed working, getting other people's cars out that weren't even their own. They went into the fire to get other cars out of other people they could rescue from other parts of the building. Whatever about me, them lads deserve to finish this story, to continue this dream, and so do the lads we've promised to go drifting, to go to events, and so do you guys at home at the events we wanted to do this year. So we're not backing down, we're staying going. That's all I know for now. I don't have any more answers for you, I really wish I did. But we're going to stay going, and we're going to need you guys more than ever. Not for me, but for the team, for the drivers we're sponsoring, for the events that bring so many smiles on faces. We're going to need you guys watching, even if it's not the most dramatic of content or crazy stuff or making Lamborghinis or whatever. We're going to need you guys over the next few months, and I know some of you are casual fans, but I promise we're going to give you guys the quality. We're going to put our heart and soul into it, and we're going to rebuild somewhere, somehow, not overnight. And lastly, and it's such a ramble, like I don't even know, it's like my brain, sorry, I usually really better at these videos where I can just tell you, I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, thank you for everybody who's believed in us so far. Thank you for the people that have been so kind to us over the last few days. And I hope the explanations in this video give you a little bit of an update of where we are right now, which is still in a confused, blurred state, but at least you guys know some of the things that we're planning. Thank you to Truck and Trailer Works in Swords, who gave us their old office. It's not much, but it's something to start with. And we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going as planned this year. We're going to need your help. And we don't want anything for free. We will repay it all with entertainment, with merch, with pushing the sport forward like we've always done. We're just going to need a bit of lenience probably this time. But yeah, that's all I want to say. I want to say thanks to, a special thanks to Blaine and to Davidis, to Lucas, to Adam, to all the boys on the team. They made a video the next day because they didn't know what else to do with themselves. They just had to work. That's what they're used to. Adam was designing t-shirts, knowing his cars, like, you don't understand. These lads just don't know how to do anything but be amazing, and I'm so proud of them for how they've held together for the last week. And for Josh, who you haven't seen on the channel, he left for he'd earned his holiday with Sarah to go to Bali, their dream holiday. He flew in, went to the hotel, he woke up the next morning to all of this, and he's still there because we told him, just don't come home, just let it not be a reality for at least another week, and then you can deal with it. So he's turned a lot of his phone off. He's just communicating with me and Keane. So we're gonna have, yeah, a pretty upset Josh, because you know how much he's put into that place and how much he's put into those cars. Like, it's incredible. Anyway, this is a very rambly video. I wish it was more entertaining, more slick, more what you're used to from us, but this is what it is. And again, thank you guys for understanding. Hopefully the next video, and I really don't want to be miserable, and I don't want to give you all this moaning and groaning, but hopefully on the next video we'll have a little bit more positives. We'll try and pick ourselves up out of the ashes and just get moving and get going, and that's all we can do, step by step. So thank you for watching. Thank you to all of our sponsors. I forgot, they all rang me, like I was so worried about them, and they all rang me so personally and said, like, these are guys who invested in our dream, have lost so much product and so much stuff with us, and they like Link ECU rang me straight away, whatever you need, don't worry about it, we're on board. Like, the family aspect of Link ECU, Sonax, Strom wheels, man, all the fucking one-of-one wheels, sorry, all the one-of-one wheels we had, like, we've so much, like, stuff from all of those guys. Jay in Precision Tint had just done the wraps on the car and he was in tears. Like, to Sean, to Wayne, as you know, came and collected the cars, like they were in the car park because they had no keys. I can't thank everybody enough, to FDF, to BC Racing, to everyone's contacted us and just said, don't worry about it, we're going to get you through this. So if you think this is all just about business, like, there's so much personal in all of those companies. Even Tom Burke from Mobile One offered us his whole warehouse and office in the middle. Like, you don't understand how many good people are behind us on this. Really good people that just want the best for us and want the best for the community and the scene. And yeah, sorry, I rambled again. Anyway, this is the video. I don't know what else to say. We're struggling, but we'll get through it, and hopefully the next video, I just really don't want to be miserable and giving out all the time, but that's the news, that's the story from the last 6-7 days. And the next time you see this place, it'll just be a car park and there'll be no building, and that's mad as well, and we're trying to wrap our head around that, and we're here in the car park doing our work as well. I don't even know what's going on. Anyway, see you on the next episode, and hopefully we'll have more positive news. The SP toolboxes are structural now, like they're holding the roof up. And one is completely bent, but the other two and the two-post ramp are holding up the roof there. Everything else is collapsed. It's be fair, the podcast van wasn't in good shape to start with, so you know, she was fair rusty to start with, so it's definitely got the rat look now.